we going, everybody? Another lovely day after a crazy moment in the morning. We had plenty of sunlight starting early morning all the way to around 10 o'clock. Then out of nowhere, these clouds just rolled in. It became misty, foggy, weird, really weird, and a lot of moisture in the air. Then all of a sudden the clouds are out, or gone, and the sun's out, I should say. And now I've come down here because I went for a walk to see what's going on out in the garden, and I've been mowing the other day. Just on that there, the weather's perfect. It's a perfect combination of weather that we're having for grass and weeds in the garden. Have a look down here. I mowed this about 3 days ago, and if you just sort of look around, you can see it's already jumping up. Don't look over here because I missed a spot. That's right, you stay there. Now, it is growing fast, and you can have a look at that. Look at this. How fast is it growing? And that grass there, what you're looking at, is because we've got irrigation there, I haven't mowed over the top, but rather brush cut that. Now, in this area here is where we have our citrus trees, and they had a bit of a hard time getting started. Those ones down the far end have done really well. They've taken off. Keep in mind they've got a lot of large trees around them and pines, which are sucking a lot of moisture out of the ground, but the rain's been okay. But this tree over here in particular, if you remember a few weeks ago, I did a segment on this because I came across it and it had dropped every single leaf. It was completely bare, naked. So what I did then was cut it right back, and all the cuts, as you can see, are here that I've made. So this tree overall was standing probably about this high. So we cut about 30%, 50% off it, completely bare, naked, no leaves on it. Have a look at it now. It's kicked on. So citrus can kick on, and a lot of you have been emailing saying your trees are discolouring, they're not doing well, or they've dropped all their leaves, you're not sure what's going on. If it's nothing above ground like an insect, and not many diseases will knock them out, you'll get a little bit of rust on the leaves, but that won't knock out the plant. Insects will. And if your tree has dropped a lot of leaves and there's no insect on there, you can't notice it, then it's from the ground. And you need to basically stimulate root development, and the only way you're going to do that is by pruning it back. So if you've tried your sprays over the top and they haven't worked and the tree's going backwards, cut back on the feeding, because a sick plant is not a hungry plant. It doesn't need to be fed heavily. In this case here, I've cut it back. I didn't feed it straight away. I waited a couple of weeks, and all I gave it was a little bit of superfood. No black grit, just superfood. And have a look at this. Not only has it come back with a vengeance and beautiful, clean, luscious foliage, we've got flowers everywhere and a good balance of it. It hasn't gone crazy with too many flowers. We all know that citrus trees have shallow fibrous roots, and many times I've said it too in the past, if you're planting a new tree like a citrus, don't have any underplanting going on, no second story. But what I've noticed with these trees is after they've settled down, they've taken to the soil, and that's requiring the good moisture and the fertilizer, and they take to the soil a grass growing over the top, or a little bit of grass, or in this case a lot of grass growing over the top, hasn't phased it. You can see how it's kikuyu, it grows like a weed. Well, it is a weed. This has taken off, they've all taken off, and one other plant that's taken off is this lime tree. Now, this lime tree had died back completely, and this is what I think about the tall grass. It actually provides a little bit of protection on the plants from the excessive heat, which can dry out the soil, and cold weather as well. In this case, what I have here. Now, this isn't the lime itself that's taken off, but rather the rootstock. So these are new suckers that have come up from the root, because the root's still quite active. And have a look how dense and matted it is underneath there. It is completely covered in grass, and there's the irrigation there. And that's basically like that. And this, look at it, how clean it is. So, you know, you got to ask yourself, do they really struggle with underplanting? I wouldn't recommend a large shrub that has a big, stiff or really rigid root ball to plant underneath it. Grasses, I think they're okay. I don't know, I'd like to hear from you guys if you've had experiences with your citrus trees growing in the grass lawn, in the lawn area, and how well they've performed or not. But in this case here, I'm noticing results. I know that's the moisture in the air as well that we're getting down, and obviously the irrigation that I've installed. So it's getting ample of water, so it's not competing against that. This will need to be grafted, and that's something we're going to do later on. Now it's too early, it's way too young to be grafted on. We're going to let it grow for another year, and by then it should be hardened off enough so we can graft it, folks. So if you've got a citrus tree that's losing its leaves or wilted leaves, cut it back. First thing you should do is check in case there's too much moisture sitting in the soil. Dig a moat a round moat around the tree so you can get water to dissipate outwards if it's got moisture problems. So stick your finger in, dig a little hole, see how much moisture it is. If that's not the case, something's affected it. There's not a lot of products you can use on the tree in the root system where you can water it in and feel safe about it or do it safely. The best thing you can do is get out there and give it a good prune, and don't be scared to prune them hard. You saw how I pruned that one there, and now it's come back not only with foliage, with leaves as well, but you got to feed it as well, very lightly, not straight away. Give it a few weeks to settle down, give it a light feed of superfood, and then watch the magic happen. Check out our website, vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasili Maresi.